And away we go. Welcome into the Union Soccer Podcast. My name is Sean Brace, joined as always by Joe Tanzi. Good afternoon, Joe.
Finally, nice to have you on the couch.
Yeah, on the couch. For the people that are just listening to the podcast, the studio is filled with anything and everything that is coming tomorrow to our wonderful. Do we even have a name for it? It's just one big Philly soccer family. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And it's going down at Double Nickel Brewery. We'll plug that before we get out of here. Talk about all the stuff that we'll be giving away, and
lots to talk about too now.
Oh, a lot
to talk about.
So looking forward to tomorrow night. But the studio is under construction right now as we speak. I had 6 mics. I was playing with music last night. Got everything coming out of the soundboard, but everything sounds crystal clear. Everything is good to go. So tomorrow should be flawless. Knock on my fake wood down here. But with that, we'll save that a little bit later. We'll come back and plug that before we get out of here. But let's get down to the business, Joe Tanzi. In the Union, we're going to discuss Atlanta on this podcast. We're going to discuss the Open Cup on this podcast.
The Open Cup for people who saw it.
Yeah, for the people that saw it. I'm going to go nuts about anything and everything that's been going on as far as broadcasting is concerned with the Union. I don't know if it's an MLS problem across the board. You'll fill me in on that, but I just had enough, and I think the people will agree with me on that one. But let's start with the news.
Oh, wait. We have to start with the biggest news.
The biggest news is?
You brought back the bucket hat.
Oh, the bucket hat is back. Yeah, you know why? Because it was hanging up, and I was like, damn, I forgot about this bucket right here. Yes, I used to wear it when we won, and that was few and far between, so it started collecting dust up there. I might have to rock it for tomorrow. You never know. But it's a good thing.
Yeah.
When I rock the bucket, that means we won. Did last night in the Open Cup. We'll get to that because Jay Simpson scored a freaking goal, which is incredible. Gotta love that. After being on the field for 90 seconds, Jim Curtin was impressed. But let's start with the big news, Joe. It came out today. Team USA is announcing a GM, but they didn't release the name. I don't understand that.
I mean, we know the name, though.
But why not just come out and say Earnie Stewart is
the
next general manager?
It would be just so much easier if you said, hey, we're announcing Earnie Stewart. We're recording around like 12:30 p.m. The conference call is at 2 p.m. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, this was reported for a long time. He's been on the list of candidates. He was unveiled as the favorite a couple weeks ago. I think it was just a matter of time, and now that time has come.
Yeah.
So, we're not entirely sure what this national team GM position really is going to do. I know there's a lot of insight into hiring the head coach, which I think is going to be probably the biggest task.
Yep.
Right now everything at U.S. Soccer is focused towards the World Cup bid. That vote happens right before the Russia World Cup gets underway.
Mm-hmm.
Once that's in the clear, then you start identifying the list of prospects for head coach. You have your GM in place. Look, Earnie Stewart is not a 100% clear-cut ideal favorite for the job in the eyes of everyone who observes U.S. soccer, but I think that also has to deal with the fact that no one actually knows what exactly this job is going to entail.
On top of who else interviewed?
There were rumors that Carlos Beccanegra interviewed at some point.
But give me facts, like who, and I know, don't get me wrong, what the names you're tossing out there are probably true, but I'm sure there's a few that didn't get mentioned either. Yeah. So I would love to see the list of candidates that were there.
Me too.
And why, and hopefully we learn all this. Why did you decide to go with
I would
Earnie?
love a lot more transparency from U.S. soccer
and I think we deserve that.
Yes.
After the BS we've been through, we deserve that.
Yeah.
I said all along, I have no problem. There are people out there in the Union world. I get text messages from my buddy, he'll rename nameless. He thinks that this is heaven sent for the Union. He is not an Earnie Stewart fan. He thinks that this is a curse for Team USA. Hey, man, to each their own. Everyone is allowed their opinion. I think that's a little over the top. I think Earnie is a solid soccer mind who, just didn't get exactly the breaks, but you make your own breaks in that position when you're signing the players. I don't know. I think that this team, I still believe, Joe, still believe this Union team, their best soccer is in front of them this year.
Oh, without a doubt.
So if this team steps it up, what are we talking about Earnie in that regards? It's 4 months down the road, and this team is playoff bound.
The Earnie Stewart legacy in Philadelphia won't be felt for a while. I think we've kind of alluded to this in some regard before, that maybe in the long run, 4 or 5 years from now, it's kind of a Hinkie situation in some regard, where he's more revered at this stage of the process.
Yep.
Now, let's be honest, he's put a lot of belief into this team, a lot of depth. And as much as you want to criticize the bad signings he's made, and look, there have been plenty.
Yeah.
And they get magnified more when you work on such a small budget that the Union has. But, I mean, look, Bork Dutch Call ends up being, for right now, more boom than bust. Look, Roland Alberg, in the times that he actually stepped on the field, worked out.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't control what he did off the field, and him staying in shape like that. That's, look, when he was on the field, he produced.
Yes, he did.
But when he didn't, he didn't.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a couple other ones that didn't pan out, but they've built a foundation. Earnie and Jim Curtin have built the foundation with all the young players, and Curtin alluded to it last night with the playing all 5 homegrowns were able to get on the field. He wanted to get them all on the field at once, but Fontana cramped up at the end, so Trusty replaced him. You have this 18-year-old Mishi Nangalina who comes in, who's been with Steele, another young product who Jim Curtin thinks highly of.
Oh yeah.
So it's the foundation's there, but I don't think the results are going to completely appear until a couple years from now.
Agreed.
They've started the show already.
Yeah.
But we're not at the point now where we can completely say Earnie Stewart was a great hire, but you can't say he was a terrible hire either because of how. But if you look from the U.S. soccer background, he's someone who knows the ins and outs of U.S. soccer. He's built teams with budgets, all that kind of stuff in the Netherlands. He's built a team within its means in Philadelphia. He's well connected and well respected across most lines. So now you look at the process now, who's going to be the head coach? And that is his number one priority before you build anything else, before any foundation, any philosophical debates happen.
And what a gig that is.
Yeah.
To land that head coaching job. Whew. Because you're going to get nothing but time. Mm-hmm. And
you have a wealth of young prospects.
Yeah. I mean, you got all these studs out there that are playing in different leagues across the world, which is only going to, get them better. And it's just, there's a lot moving in the right direction for U.S. men's national. That's for sure. Now, and it wasn't this past Saturday when they lost and gave up that 90 extra time goal to Ireland. That was a tough loss. But these are youngins, and I wasn't really expecting much. And the same thing on Saturday against France. I'm not expecting much either. I thought that the lineup was interesting, but it's good to see Bobby Wood out there scoring. It's good to see, some of these
he needed that.
Yeah.
He had a really bad season.
Yeah, it's good to see that these young kids are out there getting, and playing in hostile environments. And so there's a lot to like right now for U.S. Men National. And without going too much into deep, as far as coaches searches and stuff like that, because we'll hear all of that. Is there a name that you think Earnie is connected to besides Jim Curtin? For Team USA.
Man, there's so many international names that you could, pull out of the bag, which insert former Premier League, La Liga manager here or an international manager that you look at, of course the sexy name on the market is now Zidane, but I mean, let's be honest, we gotta be a little more realistic.
Yeah.
Some people think Conte might be, a good guy for it. There's always been that love affair with some fans with Marcelo Bielsa. And then from a domestic perspective, look, you have Jesse Marsch at the Red Bulls. You have Greg Berhalter with the Crew. And you have... it's escaping me right now.
Do you not feel like it should stay home? Do you not like? Is there not that?
I think you could take either approach to it. Honestly,
Okay.
You could build organically with someone like a former player like Berhalter, who has plenty of national team experience as a player. He's obviously had success with the Crew. There will be some points to his failure overseas as a club manager before he took the Crew job, but he had very little time. The other wild card maybe, and this is a name that hasn't been floated around there much, is Steve Cherundolo, who held down the left back position for the longest time with the U.S. national team. He was one of the most reliable and consistent fullbacks the national team's ever had. And they're still trying to fill the void at fullback now. He's worked his way up through the coaching ranks in Germany. Started right after he retired at Hanover, went right through the ranks. He doesn't have any head coaching experience in Europe yet, but he knows the system. He has overseas experience from being on staff as an assistant and all that. He might be a name to keep an eye on, either head coaching or staff-wise, because he is so well-respected. Berhalter's kind of in the same regard, where he's kind of built his team up at Columbus, and regardless of the situation off the field, they've built a success story there in Columbus. Maybe even look at Patrick Vieira, unless he's gone to Nice during this World Cup break. Jesse Marsch, there's rumors of him going to Leipzig in the Bundesliga because of the Red Bull affiliation. Some people see him as a potential national team coach. So that there are names that have been floated out there.
Sure.
I'm just not sure what the direction is or the timetable, because hey, if there's somebody that you want to interview after the World Cup, you have time, because the next game doesn't happen until September.
True. Yeah, this is a much different story or scenario than the Sixers are in. That's for sure.
It's all pure speculation.
Because you got the draft coming up, and it's like, yo, you got to make a decision here on Colangelo. We got to get somebody here fast.
How long did it take you to make a 12
minutes,
12 minutes to make a Sixers reference?
Still waiting for that freaking. Still waiting.
You know
for
what's
that
gonna
news
happen. You know what's gonna happen. We're gonna be in the middle of our panel tomorrow night at Double Nickel, and the Colangelo news is gonna break.
I would hope.
You know how these things work.
I'll take it anytime I can get it, as long as it's the right news.
You just want it to be over at this point.
Basically. All right, let's move on, because, like I said, we're going to keep this one a little fast here, and I want to yell a little bit, and I think I'm going to do that here, because we're going to come to the Open Cup, and we're going to talk a little about the fiasco that happened down in Atlanta, and then obviously end on what's happening in Toronto. But good stuff on Team USA, and again, get at Joe Tanzi, at JTanzi90.
Yes.
On anything social media for the continued discussion on all things Earnie Stewart and general manager, and who will be the next coach. All right, let's do this. I am frustrated beyond belief.
As you should be.
It's enough. It's 2018. Professional sports. Just go down the line. I've had enough of not being able to get the game where I expect to find the game. ESPN Plus, from what I understood, was it didn't matter about blackouts. I didn't know that blackouts would matter. I thought it was streaming. I thought I could watch my team whenever I wanted on ESPN Plus. That is not the case. I don't think I've been able to watch. I think I've been able to watch one game on ESPN Plus. And you know what? Maybe I need to go back and do some digging to figure out why I was able to watch that game on ESPN Plus. But ever since then, I've been just paying $5 a month for whatever reason. I'll give you. I watched 30 for 30. I watched Mike and the Mad Dog the other day, which is pretty good. But I've had enough of it. PHL 17. How about showing some frickin' pride in your product? Go to the website, phl17.com. If you're not streaming it for whatever purposes it is, how about putting an attention on the website? The Union game is not available, such and such reason, blah, blah, blah. Instead, we have to click around and hope that the stream we press play on is going to stop playing Modern Family. all right, and get into the Union game. But that's not the case. How about go to PHL17.com and click on the Union site, click on the Union folder, and see what they have for content. It's despicable. Again, show some pride, man. We do a podcast and a video in my freaking basement that I created a studio. I think we have pride in our product, Joe Tanzi, right? We care about what the people think. PHL 17, do you even give a damn about Union fans? Click on that link and laugh at what they have for content for the Union. It's a schedule. It's a schedule that they haven't changed. It's BS. This is a professional sports team that fans deserve better. That's all I'm going to say. I just have it enough. And Union, I'm sorry. This is on you guys as well. I got nothing but love for the people in the communications department, all that. But this is on you guys as well. We need to be out in front. You can find the game here. You can do it. I know that they do that to a point. I know that they put out the tweets and stuff like that. But be in our face and get on the same damn page and get PHL 17 to start putting an effort into this. It's ridiculous, man. Enough is enough. And I know the reason why I'm losing my mind over this is because I'm not the only one that deals with this.
Yeah.
You go on social media during the games and everyone's bitching about it for the first 25 minutes because nobody knows where to find the freaking game. Enough is enough. Either you're going to stream us on ESPN Plus or you're going to be on PHL 17, whatever. Make it freaking happen. And let me ask you this. Why can't the Union just stream it? Why can't the Union do something? Is it MLS rules? I don't know. We need more information. That's what we need. Instead of me clicking around, like I said, I'm watching Modern Family for 20 minutes going, is this stream behind? I think it might run into the Union game. It's just ridiculous at this point in time. Also, I've had enough of announcers not going to games. I know that's what they do in soccer. It blows me away.
Some teams travel. Most teams send travel.
I mean, I understand if you're going across the pond. I get it. Financially, whatever. I've had enough of it. Tommy was lost in that Atlanta game. He had no freaking clue. I'm sorry. That booth lacked so much in that Atlanta game. It was depressing. It was depressing to watch the game. It was depressing to see the ref completely bamboozle the game. And then to have JP and Tommy just guessing up there. And I know it's not easy because you're calling the game from South Philly, but if you can't handle it, you need people on the scene. You need somebody that's on the line with them. Producers, interns. I don't give a damn. We deserve better. The product is lacking, and it's early in the season. You have enough time to correct it, but it's just so frustrating, man.
It is, because especially the game on Saturday night, and you didn't even mention the Open Cup stream from last night.
I didn't even. Yeah. Tell me about last night.
Apparently it wasn't working for the first half.
I saw people yelling about
I
that.
saw plenty of complaints, and look, we can.
And that's on the.
That's a club produced stream for the most part. The Open Cup.
For that's on the Union then.
Yeah,
I thought that was on the website for the
No, the Union ran the stream through their website, and
come on, guys.
Open Cup specifically is usually a club produced operation, or
I'd be embarrassed, man.
Yeah.
I'd be embarrassed. This is a professional product.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I mean, you come into my studio, you can see I spend tons of freaking money on everything. Why? Because I care about what we put out. I'm not getting the feeling that they do. I'm not getting that feeling. And at least they're not hitting it out of the park, letting us know that they do.
And the worst part, and I even tweeted this Saturday, is you have a half an hour post-game show. Even if you don't have anybody on, or very few people on scene, get us something from Jim Curtin. There's 2 red cards occurred within 30 seconds of each other. And you're telling me you can't get the team-produced broadcast to get some type of statement from Jim Curtin? It's like you said, it's 2018.
Yeah.
There is some type of technology you can use to forward even if it's a 30-second clip, and get it done.
Because the broadcast ended, the post-game show ended, we got nothing.
We had no clue either what Jim Curtin thought, what Atlanta thought.
And that press conference definitely went on because it was him and Ryan.
Yeah, it was him and Ryan from the Union Communications.
Yeah.
They were all. It was just those two, because we get post game audio sent to us and it gets posted on the Union website. Mm-hmm. But if you're doing a half an hour post game and dedicating that much time to it, your bodies on the ground should at least either inform the broadcasters and say, hey, this is what Jim Curtin said.
Get the cut.
Get something.
It's not that hard.
And,
get the video camera, boom, we cut it. And we know it's the juiciest. I mean, this is the biggest thing that happened all season.
Yes.
You got to be on it. You got to be on it. And if they're lacking,
it can't be the same thing for 3 segments saying, hey, we're gonna show highlights. No, like I was watching it, and look, I respect everyone who puts on those broadcasts, but at some point, the criticism has to be there because this is one of the biggest events that happened throughout the season. So take, for example, last year when Harris Medunjanin convinced Soren Stoika, the same ref,
unbelievable,
that Acosta from DC should stay on the field. Now, if that game happened in DC or anywhere else, we'd probably still be a little lost on what happened because that eventually gets communicated up to the press box. And what you were referencing with JP and Tommy is they were kind of lost because the replay they got, the replay they got, they can't see Medunjanin keeping Martinez on side. And look, we didn't see that.
Well, I did see it on the one replay, right early, and I was just like, I don't know. Look, and I'm not going to criticize him on that because he missed it. It happens.
Yeah,
it was just
and then to see, and then for us to
after another.
I went into basically a investigation of trying to figure out, did Bedoya get sent a straight red? Because Bedoya was out of the picture for the first part of because I went back on ESPN Plus and tried to watch the replay and figure out what.
I'm glad it was working for you. Where were you?
No,
at?
That was post game.
Oh,
that was post game.
It wasn't working for me.
That was post game.
I was right on Market Street, so I'm in the middle of Philadelphia, and I can't even watch my own team play.
Yeah.
Where I'm paying again. I don't understand the blackouts. I'm paying. It's an internet service. Why is there still blackouts?
Yeah.
Either you could stream the game or you can't stream the game. And apparently they can't stream the game these days. So I don't know. People got to get on the same damn page. But to your point, I think, we got it out.
You're anything you just said is not wrong.
And it's just so another thing too. You mean to tell me that no outlets are sending any reporters to an away game?
Yeah.
Nobody from Philly.com is being sent. Nobody from the Philly Voice. Nobody, and I don't mean to throw anybody under the bus, but come on, people. So the post game was Jim Curtin and Ryan from the media department, and that was it. There was no.
There wasn't even an Atlanta reporter in there. Now that part also baffles me because you have if something controversial happens, you have a reporter submit questions to the referee. Now, the referee has a right to not answer it, and you have to kind of word it specifically. That way you get your point across, and it's not vague, so the referee, doesn't answer it properly. But the fact that, and from what I understand, there was a miscommunication with how the process either worked or questions that were submitted. So we didn't even get a explanation from the referee on what happened. Ridiculous. Now, look, like I said, if the process gets followed properly and the questions are asked to Stoika, and what usually happens is they're written down, clear cut on a piece of paper, they're delivered to the locker room, the referry answers.
What's this, Bull Durham? Jesus.
Yeah.
Sure, I get it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Baseball, I think they would hardly answer. Football, I don't think they'll answer.
Yeah.
So, hey, I give them credit.
There is a process in place where the referees have an opportunity to explain themselves. The problem is, to get there,
you got to have people know what they're doing.
You got to have, and from what I understand, the questions weren't even up to snuff of where it should have been to even ask the referees.
Well, that doesn't surprise me about the Atlanta media. I mean, I'm surprised that they packed the place up like they have, 40,000+. It's great, but the media down there, just those teams, just whatever. It's one of the worst sports, and they got professional teams out the yin yang. But I can go on for days about Atlanta. I think it's one of the worst, but that doesn't surprise me, and it's unfortunate because if there was traveling media members, and that's not on the union, that's on the outlets, putting the people that cover the team in the building. I mean, it's the biggest game of the year. And damn it, if they didn't have that freaking craziness, I think they might have ran with Atlanta.
And to be honest, that's what Jim Curtin's kind of alluded to since then, and he's even said that, Tata Martino, the Atlanta United coach, who hates VAR, very much so, even kind of apologized to Jim about like, hey, I'm sorry the game didn't go the way it should, because it sounds like, or it looks like, the Union were up for it for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Hell, they almost scored in the opening 10 or so minutes.
Don't get me wrong. The first 10 minutes, you saw the first pass was intercepted and went the other way. I'm like, oh, Lord. Look, they got to get there. That's a crazy building for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The ref, the fans all the way up. It's crazy in there. I can only imagine what it's like to play. But the Union took their best shot, and that penalty was, 17, 18 minutes into the game.
They looked like they were going to be able to play up to Atlanta, and it's a shame that Jim has said this multiple times since then. There's a appeals process going on for, I believe, Bedoya's second yellow, because now here's what we ran into on Saturday night. Jim and even Harris Medunjanin said that the referee didn't realize Bedoya was already on a yellow card when he gave the second yellow. Didn't
he give Bedoya the first yellow? So how does he not?
Exactly. That is, which is why you why you want.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
God, are you kidding me? He gave Bedoya the yellow. Bedoya grabbed his shoulder,
which was a clear. There's no problem with that.
I have no problem with that.
I think the only thing at the end of the day, what we're debating from that game, is Bedoya's second yellow. Because look, Harris Medunjanin, I have no problem with him losing his mind. That is totally defensible in a way because he's so competitive.
We disagree, but go ahead.
But that, I'm not saying like do it all the time, but I understand why in that moment he flipped out, because
you can't get kicked out of games, though.
No, I'm not saying get kicked out of games. I'm just saying I understand why he erupted the way he did, because he's so competitive.
There's no consistency with the VAR.
There's no consistency with that.
Yep.
And then
I know, and Jonathan Tanwal is going to be joining us tomorrow. Excited. We're going to plug that. But he's under the impression, and I'm not trying to argue with him, but he's under the impression that every play is reviewed.
It is. Every play is.
So they looked at that.
So what they have on staff, they have the regular 4 officials on the field. They also have a video official up top who
in the stadium
who is looking at the plays. They're trained to look at the plays. Now, so for example, in that situation, the referee blows for a penalty.
Yep.
If the video review, so you've seen some pauses in Union games,
and
after goals, you see them make the motion. If they believe the play it needs to be reviewed, so say, for example, the Fabinho handball that they missed, which I don't know how you missed that. It was pretty blatant in the first place.
Yep.
Then they get buzzed down from the video official, say, hey, you need to check this out. Go, either change the call or review the call.
Can the ref on the field say, yo, we need to look at that again?
The ref on the field is in communication with all the officials.
Why would these refs not want to get it right? That's my theory. Hey, look, I know pride, but at the end of the day, hey man, that was pretty close. And I felt like that was a penalty on Trusty.
Yeah,
I have no problem with that.
On first look, I didn't think it was. But when you slow it down, look, you can't go in from behind.
Thank you.
But here's the thing, though: if you're gonna take time to look at it, why not just go to the monitor to make sure?
That's all I'm saying. Get it right. You have this you have this ability with the VAR to get it right. You're doing it because you want to get it right.
Yeah.
Get it right. That's it. Review it. Just take a second. People always say, "Oh my God, these delays," and especially in basketball, it's like it's killing me. No, it's not, because guess what? If they didn't get it right, it would piss you off even more. Take as long as you want. Get it right. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
And I thought Trusty went in there, a little young, and he got caught. Martinez fell down. I know he flopped a little bit, but guess what? You know what? I have no problem with that being called. And, they didn't review it. They didn't give me the TV signal. And I guess that's what pissed off Harris. Well, no, Harris really reacted.
Well, Harris reacted they were upset about the call. And then, you could clearly tell Bedoya's fixing his sock, kind of doing like a professional, kind of delaying the penalty, kind of
hoping that the VARs get called.
That and also to kind of mess with Martinez a little bit, get in his head, which is everybody does it.
But he's already got a yellow.
Yeah.
Is that smart of Bedoya?
I think it's smart because you don't usually get booked for that.
Okay. No, I agree
in all
with
honesty.
you on that. No, you're right about that.
But the referee took it into his own hands.
Which is BS.
Yeah. And
totally ruined that whole game.
And that's what they're appealing right now. They've kind of hinted at it without directly saying we're appealing what happened. You get a couple appeals per season. You have to use them wisely. You can't appeal Harris's red card. I mean that's pretty straightforward. There's a reason why he played last night.
Fingers crossed. That's all he gets is one game.
Yeah.
Right? Is that wins?
One game should be enough.
He spit at the ref.
He didn't spit.
He spit.
He didn't spit
I
at the
will
ref.
slow that down.
He did not spit.
Joe, he spit.
He did not spit.
You want to make a bet?
I've watched it multiple times. He hasn't spit.
Oh, come on, dude. He absolutely spit. I just watched it.
He made the motion, but from what I've been told is that's kind of like the head forward motion is kind of.
Okay.
It's kind of like from what I've been told in other parts of the world, that's how that's how they kind of say F you, and that's how they that's like their version of the finger.
No doubt. I look. I'm looking at freaking Atlanta, and I just watched it. We got a replay on the backside, so that's why I'm all fired up.
I didn't see anything come out of his mouth.
He came over and he went, look, you want to break down the saliva? We'll have to Zapruder film it. We'll have to do that. But
that's what the league office is doing right now.
And it was bad. And I hope it comes back that he pump faked like you're suggesting.
Yeah.
No problem. I'm good on that. But hopefully that's the case. It's only one game. I had no problem with them giving Bedoya off, even if he doesn't win his appeal last night. The people are like, well, you should play him. No, give him the freaking week off.
No, they need to play Derek Jones because if Bedoya is going to be suspended, which he is right now, look, Warren Creavalle is already pretty much automatically put in that starting lineup because of where he stands in the depth chart.
Sure.
You need Derek Jones to get time on the field with the first team. That way he has a little confidence, a little momentum going into Friday because you can't just throw him out there raw against Toronto.
No.
And look, if the Bedoya thing gets overturned, which we might not hear until Friday night because this is the way MLS usually works with, and Jim even alluded to it with the Chicago game when Mo Adams, they found out they were preparing for it the night before. They're like, oh, he's not going to play. And then they find out around, the middle of the morning, early afternoon that he is going to play. And that hurt Chicago as well. Yeah. So the timing of the decisions isn't really great either. MLS usually drops their disciplinary decisions on Friday night. Well, the Union are playing at 8 o'clock on Friday night.
You think they could do it a day earlier?
No. They're hey, at least they're consistent with dropping their decisions on Friday nights. But
I would like to see.
You could be driving down to the stadium and finding out that Bedoya's appeal was held up or they reversed the card.
And speaking of which, I know, because like you said, it took forever to find out what happened, and I just assumed that Bedoya was chirping, and I thought that you can't get kicked out of that game. You're already on yellow. You got to know better. The ref was warning everybody, get away from him. Mm-hmm. And I thought Bedoya was chirping, and then it finds out that it wasn't. So it's not to say that I was faulting him. Again, I don't think he's still clear because, dude. I know they don't normally call that, which it's ridiculous that they did. But you got the yellow. You can't get thrown out of those games. You just got to be above it. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Bedoya would tell you that same thing. So
I would like to see what the exact match report the officials submitted, what that exactly says about the situation because we still haven't heard the referee's point of view. And look, like I said, even if he gave us like the BS cookie cutter answers to what happened,
better than nothing.
It's still better than nothing.
Agreed.
Which is why we were kind of in the dark Saturday, and that's the point where it kind of drives home. Well, the pool reporting process isn't great. The VAR process still needs to be fixed, and the team is kind of in the dark too on what's going on. So who knows? We could see Bedoya on the field Saturday, or we could be waiting to see him in the Open Cup against whoever they get drawn against or Vancouver.
Lord, it is just ridiculous right now. What an entertaining game it was in Atlanta. And we shout out to the rest of the members of the Union that were out there because they did play their ass off and on that turf. And I mean, I was just thinking to myself, this might be 5-0 here, but they got a goal,
which is exactly what we thought would happen. And look, give them credit.
Yeah, they do.
They fought.
Yeah, Fafa scored. And 9 players against that Atlanta team, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Fabinho to Warren Creval to Fafa Picault for a goal with 9 men. I mean, that's just, you can't make that up.
In Atlanta, unbelievable. All right, let's move on because we are going a little bit long here as usual. The Open Cup. Not much. The only thing I will say about the Open Cup, it was cool to see Jim's quotes after the game. First of all, I'm going to say Marcus Epps is continuing to catch my eye. Great goal last night.
Absolutely.
Jay Simpson comes onto the field and scores in 90 seconds. Jim Curtin said after the game he was impressed. Derek Jones, not so impressed. What exactly was your takeaway on the Derek Jones stuff first?
You can either magnify this game because it's against... it's a first time for some of these guys out in the field in a while, or you cannot take stock in it because it's a mid-level USL team that, let's be honest, was overmatched from the start.
Sure.
So you can look at it from 2 perspectives. Some of the guys, like Epps, continued strong form, got the job done. Fontana kind of did the same thing. Corey Burke bowling a China shop again. I mean, He plays the same way the entire time.
Yep.
Jay Simpson got a goal. But you can't really judge his form based off a second half 45-minute spell where you're up 5 goals because at that point Richmond's out of it. I think what Jim really wanted out of Jones is to be a little more crisp and consistent. And I think it's just a harsh criticism, but also kind of motivates the young guy as well. He did say at the end of his quote about Derek Jones that he does trust that he can step up in big situations. He's proved that. And if he has the chance to go up against Toronto, that he'll do the job. So it's kind of like a backhanded compliment in a way, too.
Sure. Yep.
But, I mean, he's the guy if the Bedoya appeal doesn't go the way the Union want it to go. So you have to have some type of confidence in Derek Jones. And look, I mean, he got forward a little bit. He played that ball to Jay Simpson for the 5th goal. But yeah, it's hard to judge these guys off an Open Cup game because it's the Open Cup. It's a USL side. Now, if this was like DC United or the Red Bulls, sure, you can go a little more deeper into the performance because it's a higher quality opponent. But the Union were supposed to beat the snot out of Richmond. They did. And now they're on to the round 16.
Yep, and 5-0. I'll take that any day of the week. I don't care who's it's against.
And they performed better than, the Revs lost.
Yeah, saw that.
And DC got pushed to PKs. The Union took care of business, and who knows what's going to happen tonight.
Dude, I've said it already in the podcast. I said it to my boy when I was texting about Ernie. I think the Union, better soccer is in front of them. I really do think that there's going to be some streaks here in the positive direction like we had before this Atlanta game. I think a couple more are on our way. So it's not going to be easy against Toronto. We realize that. Toronto's desperate. They need to get some points. Giovinco is incredible. And Bradley's going to be out there.
And look, Toronto is not in the best form.
Yeah,
they're still struggling.
They need these points.
They need the points as bad as the Union does.
Yep.
And to lose a 3-goal lead like they did in Columbus, and look, the Michael Bradley critics come on out and play because he played a direct role in giving up those 3 goals in the second half against Columbus. Toronto's not perfect. I'm not going to say they can easily beatable, but if the Union play at the level they've been playing at, they could absolutely beat Toronto.
If they get the performance like they did against Chicago.
Yeah.
There it is. Give it that performance.
Except you can't, this trend they have of conceding at home while up a goal or 2, that cannot happen against Toronto because if you give Giovinco a free kick,
it's lights out. That guy
he's pretty
automatic.
much guaranteed to score, and Toronto has so much more talent than Chicago and San Jose and all these other teams almost combined.
It's fun to watch him play. It's fun to watch him.
Absolutely is.
To have free kicks, and Martinez. It's fun to watch him play too. I was watching him warming up for Atlanta. I was just like, I was in awe.
He's going to make Atlanta a nice little profit.
My good Lord, man! How do we find one of those? Please,
actually go to South America and scout.
Yeah, there it is.
It's pretty simple. There's like a dozen MLS teams that have figured that one out.
Well, I look forward to talking about that tomorrow. So with that being said, let's just do a quick plug, and we're going to wrap things up. Anything else you want to say, Joe?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, we hit on everything. Big game on Friday. Make sure you check out our game preview, match preview on a different video. But before that, folks, here it is. It's finally here. We've been talking about this event at Double Nickel Brewery, June 7th, going down for a couple weeks now. It is the day before, and we are so excited to finally do this. Last night I was firing up. We got 6 mics total working. I got the music going through this. We got the videos. We got some cool ideas as far as games are concerned. I'm going to do a little Price is Right, and I'm going to do a Let's Make a Deal. So we got 2 of those games going.
2 things Jay Sugarman absolutely knows how to do.
Yeah, there you go. 4 hours. It starts at 6 o'clock. Just bring your ass anytime after 6 o'clock. We're going to get the roundtable discussion going about 7 o'clock. Joe Tanzi hit it out of the ballpark by getting some really, really cool names, some big guys that cover the Union and girls. We invited Marissa Pillich. Unfortunately, she could not make it. But, Joe, speak on who's coming out tomorrow night.
We got Kevin Kincaid.
Boom.
Coming through. We have Jonathan Tanwell confirmed.
Boom.
Coming through. We have Greg Orlandini from the Philly Soccer Show.
Boom.
Confirmed. And Philly Soccer Page's Nick Fishman, all joining us on a panel. We'll be rotating in and out. Mr. Sean Brace, MC Sean Brace, will be the ringleader.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, we got enough mics, so it's like I think everyone can have a mic. But I'm going to have 2 wireless mics, one for me running around, asking people. We'll have an open mic if you want to step up. I'm going to have a box of questions. If you're shy, you don't want to talk, drop your question in the box. Dude, everyone's gonna be hanging out after the round table for like an hour or so, whatever. We're gonna have FIFA up, and we got plenty of giveaways from Under Armour, from the Union, Alejandro Bedoya and Keegan Rosenberry signed jerseys, authentic, gorgeous jerseys. Bethlehem Steel sent us a prize pack, really, really cool. Umbro just got in. They sent us some jerseys that we're going to hook up out of the Mel D collection. My man's doing great work up there in NYC. Make sure he came up with some different cool names just to represent the boroughs and just pretend like they're soccer squads. Very cool, though. I got 2 of those jerseys. Big Mama's Chicken Shack is the one. That's going to be everybody's favorite. Dude, and plus a lot more other prizes. Double Nickel Brewery tomorrow at 6 p.m. Can't wait. It's finally here. Look, I don't care if 10 people roll through the door or 100 people roll the door. I know we're going to have a lot of damn fun, so I hope you guys will all come out and join us. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and we will have videos out the wazoo next week from the roundtable as well.
My buddy Kurt's coming. He's filming it. So we got a professional videographer. He's going to be on it. Ryan, I'm trying to get Ryan to be on top of social media, so he can. So it just follow the pages, check us out. We'll be doing things live, but most importantly, man, it's for you to come on out. Like, we need you to come on out. We're not doing this for myself and Joe and Kevin Kincaid. We could just easily do the podcast here. Instead, we're going to Pensacola, New Jersey, where we're going to drink great beer from Double Nickel, give away some fabulous prizes, have a bunch of laughs. The Union are winning. Team USA's getting a new general manager. Things are looking on the up. Let's go. I can't wait. We need you to show up tomorrow night, 6 p.m., Double Nickel Brewery. It's that easy.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
You said it all.
All right. Good
it's
shit.
It's as easy as beating the Richmond Kickers.
That's it. It's as easy as beating the Richmond Kickers. So 5-0 tomorrow. Bring it. We're going to be there. FIFA, giveaways, cold beer from Double Nickel Brewery. This is going to be tremendous. I can't wait to meet everybody. High five. And just it's going to be a really good time, man. I know it is. I know it's going to be fun. So Thursday.
If you're also a big FIFA player, please challenge Sean Brace.
I'm on a different level right now. I'm on a different level. That World Cup update, let me tell you something. Brazil is the best team I've ever used on a FIFA game possible. They are so fast. They are so loaded. I go up 2-0 on everybody, milk the clock a little bit. I'm not losing. So
you play a little CONCACAF style on FIFA.
Dude, I'm all over
You're
it,
a little time waster.
I am not losing. Go up 2-0 with those speed demons. It's over. And Neymar ain't even doing anything for me. It's a lot like reality. But with that being said, I can't wait for tomorrow. Double Nickel Brewery, 6 p.m. Let's go, people. Go Union. Go everything soccer. Bring your ass. Double Nickel Brewery, 6 p.m. Anything else?
Be there.
Be there. Simple as that. Joe Tanzi, I'm Sean Brace. We'll talk to you guys next week. Make sure you check out our match preview for Toronto this Friday night. Friday night, right?
Friday night,
Yeah,
8 o'clock.
Friday night. Let's go Union. Let's get back on that winning side of things. All right. For Joe Tanzi, I'm Sean Brace. This is Union Soccer Podcast.